Ooh, doggy, what is going on, beautiful people? I hope and pray that you all are doing phenomenally well. So, welcome to another video. On today's topics, I want to discuss contracts, purchase agreements, do's and don'ts, and things to look out for when it comes to filling out your contracts for your wholesale transaction. So stay tuned because you don't want to miss this. All right. So let's dive right into it. Okay. So a lot of new investors getting started are honestly kind of terrified about the contracts. It's one of those things where you're nervous, you don't want to get it wrong, you're not sure if you're filling it out correctly, and all of those good things. Okay. So I want to share with you kind of some best practices and what has helped me. Number one, when it comes to don'ts, all right, do not get a property under contract that you do not have a contingency on or some type of inspection period. Okay. And so, what this means is for any reason whatsoever, if you cannot find an end buyer, if you decide that you actually want to buy that property to fix it up and flip it, but your private money lending falls through or your hard money lending falls through, you need to be able to give yourself an out of that contract. Okay. You need to be able to exit that contract, no harm, no foul. And so this is where that contingency comes in place, that inspection period comes in place. Now, in different states, it may be called something different depending on the type of contract that you're actually using. Like for me, for example, I'm located in Texas. So I use our TREC contract, TREC. That's our Texas state real estate contract. On there, it's called a termination period, right? So if you're in Florida or somewhere else, it might be called, an inspection period, an option period, a termination, right? The verbiage is all the same. Okay. It means all the same thing. So make sure that you have that um, on your contract. Okay. Number two, give yourself enough time, right? Like for me, I always do at least a 30-day close on my contract. Yes, we can close quicker. Yes, we tell the sellers that, hey, we can get this done in as little as 2 weeks. But if there is absolutely no rush, if that seller is not facing foreclosure or there's some dire need where they need to sell that house and be gone within a week or 2 weeks, give yourself enough time. Do not put that much pressure on yourself when it comes to getting these deals closed, okay? Because say for example, um, if I want to buy that property or I want to go get a private money lender, well, the self-directed IRA company that I use to fund my deals will typically take 3 to 5 business days before they even send over my own money. Okay. And so that takes time, right? So you want to make sure that you're not putting yourself in a tight situation there that's not even necessary. Okay. Another thing, let's actually talk about the most important part, the contracts themselves. It seems like I jumped that part, but that's a pretty crucial part. You just heard me mention that I like to use my state contract. Okay. Now, there are several basic purchase agreements that literally you can Google. Okay. You can Google standard purchase agreement for real estate, right? Every single guru that you see on social media and on YouTube will probably even have a free copy that they say, hey, they'll send you if you sign up for their email list or something of that nature, right? So these standard purchase agreements or a dime a dozen. You can literally find them on the sidewalk. Okay. Just grab one off the sidewalk, right? And most of them actually work. Okay. Most of them actually work. I used at the beginning of my career a lot of those 1 to 3 page purchase contracts. Then I transitioned into my state contracts, and I'll share the reason why here. Now, if you have ever bought a house, then most people or you feel like or know that there's a lot of paperwork involved with selling a house, right? So if I make you a cash offer on your property for $1 million, and then I walk to your house with this little bitty 1 page contract, like, hey, here you go. You're going to look at this and you're going to be like, Clifford, what is this? Right? Like, what is this? It's awkward. It's not in the norm. Right? Now, I'm not saying that you cannot use it. You just have to overcome that objection. And it's really not a hard objection to overcome. I would say something like this to the seller. I would say, yes, Mr. Seller, do you remember when you first bought your house and you had that whole stack of paperwork that you had to fill out when you got started or when you bought this house? Well, that is not the case whatsoever, because this is a cash transaction and we're real estate investors. We simplify the real estate process so you don't have to go and spend an hour filling out a stack of paperwork. Sound good? Right? So my objection or me overcoming that objection would sound like that, right? But when I started to use my state contract, I stopped getting those objections. And that's what I want. I want to overcome them before they even become an objection. And then also, that seller has probably seen the state contract before because they bought the house. They're familiar with that contract. And guess what? They feel safer. People like familiarity. How does that work? Or what's that word? How am I saying it? I know I'm butchering that word, but you get what I'm saying, right? So people like the familiarness. They filled this out before. Okay. So it just helped it move and go a lot smoother when I started using my state contract. But here's the kicker, and here's the thing that I want to share out there for everybody, because I know that this video is going nationwide and you might be in Washington or Seattle or California, right? You are actually going to have to spend time Googling and researching, can I use my state specific contract if I'm not a licensed agent? Okay. I don't know every law in every 50 states, right? But here in Texas, I can. So you do have to take the initiative and Google that and figure that stuff out. Okay. A third option that you can do is you can actually have an attorney, a real estate attorney, draft up a contract specifically for you, specifically for your company. Okay. It's typically not expensive, maybe a few $100s at most. Okay. You can tell them, hey, this is what I need the contract to say, that, you know, we were wholesaling these contracts, that it may be assignable. We need a termination period in there, an option period, and things of these natures, and they can actually draft this up for you. All right. So I hope this was a little helpful. It's just kind of a quick kind of talk about contracts. But most importantly, when in doubt, get it under contract, okay? Because you can always figure out the rest of the stuff later. Don't don't feel like you're going to make a mistake. Anything is figure outable. If you make a mistake, you can always go back and amend that contract, all right, and make any changes that we need to, and or have it updated however we need to. Okay. So I hope this helps. Don't be intimidated by contracts at all. Okay. It's just a piece of paper. Get them to fill it out. And then most importantly, send it over to the title company. Now, before I let y'all go, if you got value out of this, please like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. Also, I have a 3-day intensive REI masterclass coming up called the One Property Away. I'm going to show you how one single property can transform a lot in your life, just like it did me, just like it allowed me to quit my job and do real estate investing full time. So if you're looking to take your real estate investing to the next career or to the next level, or you just want to make some extra income, start saving for retirement, maybe taking that trip, I'm going to be deep diving and show you how that is possible for you. And we're going over real actual numbers and real actual deals that I close on. Okay. So I'll see you there. That link will be in the description.